The first question is, how has the buyer psychology for trophy properties shifted? Are clients motivated by lifestyle, status, or long-term security? There we go.
Thank you very much. I think that recently the psychology has shifted. 10 years ago, buyers may have been looking for a trophy property. It feels like in LA now, buyers are looking for something a little bit more with pedigree, properties that will be legacy-oriented, homes and land that will remain valuable in many years to come. So we're finding that some of the spec homes that were being built are a little less desirable, and now buyers are looking for things much more largely related to location, long-term, prestige, and in areas in which they can really enjoy their lives and also pass that property along if the time comes to another buyer that will pay them a lot more money for it. So it's really a lot more about, I think, legacy and pedigree if they're going to spend a lot of money for properties.
Okay. Next question. What new wealth trends are you seeing in LA? How are high net worth clients diversifying their portfolio?
So, I think that what I'm noticing a lot of is health-related, wellness-related, and for people who are purchasing expensive properties, they do like to have healthy lifestyle related to that. So in many of the properties that I'm seeing or we're selling, there are a lot of health-related amenities involved, and we have a property coming on market that's got like a Turkish hammam, salon, gym. The hammam has a dry sauna, wet sauna, hot tub, cold plunge, the whole thing. So a lot of it is health oriented, and of course living in Malibu, you've got the ocean, you've got the fresh air. I think that's a big selling point. In terms of diversification, I think they will be looking to diversify, as Ryan was mentioning, into other assets as well. There's always art is always been very big. Watches and some exotic cars, and also not just having one property or one, a major property in one location, but they'll diversify and have a home in Aspen, a home in Miami, potentially abroad in the UK, along with a home in LA. So a little diversification with property as well.
What creative strategies are you seeing in today's luxury transactions? Are you seeing anything unusual or different?
Well, I think that crypto is something that a lot of people are now keeping an eye on. There's a lot of wealth that's been created with crypto, and so one thing that people are exploring is, can I transact with it? There's an article that came out of the Wall Street Journal about some sales happening with crypto. I have clients that are heavily invested, and we are exploring the potential to sell with those means, but oftentimes I'm finding now that they'll liquidate and then they'll move the property. Apart from that, in terms of creativity, there was actually an article that came out today, but like some sellers, they want to get a sense of like really what is this home like before they would make a purchase. And so we're hearing inquiries of like, can we, is it short-term, is it available for a short-term stay? Could we rent it for a month? Could we rent it for 2 months before we would commit to a purchase? Try before you buy, or do like an option with a lease with an option to purchase. So some of those things, and there's a lot of there is skittishness in the buyer market right now. So I think it would give them a better sense of, how could I live here? How would this feel? Does this fit my family and my lifestyle?
Never wanted to do that in the past. We always had a rule: don't let them move in before they buy. But I think we're having to get more creative now. Okay, next. Are you seeing the transactions with local people moving within LA, or are the buyers coming from elsewhere?
I think it's still a mix. Obviously, the fires have created a huge, movement, and there are local people. I know so many families that are looking, and
So they're looking either from Palisades, either to have a new forever home, and they've just decided not to live in Palisades or Malibu anymore, or they've decided to purchase while they're in plans to rebuild, if they do or not. So there is definitely, the usual, there's that contingent of buyers that's driving a lot of activity, and then you do have the buyers who are moving up and families growing and whatnot, and we do still see a lot of big sales happening with Chinese buyers, some buyers from the Middle East, from the UK, and as Ryan was mentioning, this is, people do come here for the weather. LA has received a bad rap for some things, but at the end of the day, people come here and they love it. They're like, oh, wait a second, like all these things that I'm hearing about, this is still amazing, and I could really see myself with a home in Malibu. I would love to be here. I'd love to live here. So you are getting international, and you are getting some people up from the Bay Area who made a ton of money, with the AI boom, that are now also looking to be a little bit more, in a sunny location.
What is the most unconventional tactic that's worked for you with a high net worth client?
Well, I think that there's been a lot of things, so I couldn't go into, but one of them is that, I've dealt with many international buyers, and some of them have been on the fence of whether to buy or not, partially because they would not live in the property full time, and they wouldn't know how to take care of it. And they wouldn't want to hire a full-time estate manager because it just doesn't make sense. So what they asked of me is, hey, like, would you take care of the property for me? And so what I realized is that, first off, like, I could do it with the staff that I have. And they ended up purchasing the property. And they were so incredibly grateful for the work that we did for them. And by the way, like, they would come to the house like 3 months out of the year, if even that. But we would come to the property and maintain it and do all these things, and that became a client for life. And when they went to sell it, they used us, and then they referred us people, and then I just realized that there's actually a business there, and that's right, yeah. So we've effectively helped them with more than just the transaction. Really, it's just a lot more of general maintenance and care of homes.
And last but not least, what is the role of personal brand equity for agents in the luxury market?
Again, like Ryan mentioned, I think that your personal brand is the most important thing. Your reputation is so incredibly important, because at the end of the day, if you did something that was not in the best interest of the client, they'll talk, and you could ruin a whole career. So being looked at as an advisor that can be trusted and has done homework and can provide valuable resources and really options and help is really what we're here for. So I think that if that can be your personal brand, then you will do great in the business. That's really it.
You're awesome. I feel like I learned so much. Thank you so much.